Yeah, my makeup looks weird because I just had a long day. And I'm sorry about that, baby, but this is just how it's gonna be. Um, so I wanted to do a video. This one's going to be about some things that I encountered going to the store, just random store experience. And this what really offends me generally when it comes to issues concerning skin tone, issues concerning my skin tone, issues concerning my tanning behavior, and things of that nature. It's like I get tired of black people who always point out my skin tone difference as if it's a negative thing or not a good thing that I've tanned, or not a good thing that, I'm lighter one day or darker than another day. Generally, in my experience, it's been by dark skinned black women, too, where darker skinned black women would tell me, oh no, like, you can't, and act like there's something wrong with the fact that I'm not as light skinned as I was before, you know? And it's like, why does it matter, like, what my skin tone look like when I'm in, like, the winter or the summer? You know what I mean? Like, why is it such a bad thing? And, what really bothered me this time was, like, someone on the job at work was telling me that, oh my god, he's tan. Clerk at the gas station basically told me, like, oh my god, you tan, like, you look different than you did back in the winter. And it's like, why would a tan be bad? And I mean, considering you're darker skinned than me at all times of the year, being darker than what I naturally am without sun exposure, and being, the complexion is still actually technically lighter than you. What are you saying about your own complexion when you act like it's bad that I tan? Like, to me, this kind of perception of someone's skin tone being a negative thing, or they should avoid the sun because they're naturally lighter skinned, and if they tan, oh no, you've gone over to the other side, kind of thing. Like, this perpetuates the continuous self-hate issue and devaluement of dark skin, because if dark skinned people get upset and act like it's a connotation to be darker like them or get closer to a complexion like them, then what's it saying about how they feel about their own skin tone when they're thinking negatively about people lighter than them who tan? Like, to me, I don't understand that. I don't understand why people act like being darker is always associated with negativity. I understand people were oppressed for their skin tone, but really, honestly, they really weren't. I mean, because if you look at slavery, if you look at excuse me, I'm sorry, a bad interjection, but if you look at the history of like segregation and things of that nature, you'll notice the people in the time period of slavery with Native Americans and light skinned black people. Many light skinned black people are lighter skinned than Native Americans or East Asians. They were still slaves. They were still segregated more than Native Americans were. and Asians were, they still received the brunt of racism. So why are you associating skin tone with some kind of negativity? The negativity that came with being black had to do with the lineage of African heritage and the features that come along with African heritage, more than a skin tone. Skin tone varies among Africans anyway. They took Africans to be slaves no matter what complexion they were. This is why white skinned black people take DNA tests, and generally they get heritage from places like Cameroon and Congo and Nigeria, where there are higher percentages of light skinned black people. So obviously, when they were taking the Africans from Africa, they didn't just take dark skinned black Africans. They didn't say, where are the dark skinned Africans? We're only taking the dark skinned Africans. No, they just took Africans. Some were light, some were dark. I don't even think they gave a fuck who was light or dark. They probably didn't even know who was light or dark. So that's why I get so annoyed with these kinds of things where people make such a differentiation on what skin tone someone is. I never even pay attention to if I'm tanning or if I'm not tanning. I don't. The only time I pay attention to when I'm tanning is when I'm wearing the wrong foundation. Because so many times there's a day I get lighter and my foundation is darker. And then there are days when I get darker and my foundation is lighter. It's annoying. It really is. It's annoying. Because, I just change in complexion like every day. And that's problematic when you're trying to look right and you're trying to look nice. And that's all I've ever cared about. People always talk about looking nice and then they associate things with like looking more attractive, meaning lighter skinned. And to me it never made sense to me to try and say looking lighter meant looking nicer. To be honest, I mean, you could have some big features, that are very not attractive and be very light skinned. I mean, I don't understand what does the skin tone have to do with anything when usually features have to do with ratios as opposed to like how attractive to you. I mean, attractive you are. Sorry about that. Um, so I mean, like, I don't understand why people always are trying to act like a skin tone makes someone attractive or not attractive. For me, it's always been focus on your features and focus on what makes you look right, not about, what your skin tone is. Like, a skin tone, you're gonna be whatever you are as far as attractiveness, that's not really going to change it by changing a skin tone. There's some ugly white people and ugly black people and ugly Hispanic people. And there's some pretty black people and pretty white people and pretty Hispanic people. I don't understand why we have to always try and hate on other people either. Like, I see often where people will try and, like, act like white people or white women is unattractive or something just to slight white women. And it's like, people do that with black women all the time, where they will act like a black woman is unattractive just to slight black women because they think negatively of black women. To me, I don't think attractiveness has to do with race all that much. I think beauty comes in all races and colors, and it really doesn't matter. But honestly, going back to what I was complaining about, my main issue is I don't understand why people make such a big deal on what my complexion looks like one day over another. And I think it's very unprofessional for a cashier to tell me that I look too tan today or I look way darker today and I should watch out because I decided to go out in the sun and walk out, for an hour or two or whatever. Because I've been walking outside for a while. Anyway, there's some business I had to take care of. And then plus I try to exercise and stuff. Anyway, um, yeah, I just don't. That just bothered me today. That experience. So, and it's not the first experience, honestly. I've had other experiences, like, for example, I was on a bus and someone was like, "Oh no, you don't want to tan or anything," or like acting like tanning is a bad thing. You don't want to get dark skin. You don't want to be brown skinned or whatever. And it's like, why is it bad to get darker? Like, darker skin is beautiful. It's ideal on a woman, honestly. I mean, like, your features are more feminine to me when you're darker skin because you have less flaws. Well, the lighter your skin is, as far as like imperfections and like marks on your skin, you see more of those when you're not tan and when you're lighter. When you're darker, you know, you can hide a lot. And that's another thing. When you get dark enough, it's less likely you need all that, like foundation, for example. I usually find for me, I don't usually need that much foundation when I'm darker because my skin usually is a lot more able to it's able to like it's able to kind of like hide, most of my flaws. It's not perfect still, it's not perfect, but it conceals enough where I feel, a little bit more confident with my skin type um than I do like with when it's lighter. But yeah, I just think acting like someone shouldn't tan when you are darker skinned just says a lot about how you see your own dark skin. I'm tired of seeing darker skinned women act like their skin is somehow a negative thing or something you shouldn't be, wanting to look like. I mean, like, there's an ideal look for every color and every race of woman. There's no need to act like one is inferior to the other. So that's all I have to say on this. Thanks for watching. Bye.